ill, but with the old black African rhythms, no music deals. For a few, thoughts a whole deal. The devil has plans, so knowledge remains until. Some of the music that force them to keep it real. Budget cuts and law enforcement, no training, just kill as will. Hope to watch it all, hard out of sadness, watching you self-destruct, no money, no sadness. Urges, dropping the bees and populating. Correctly above all, do we need pollination? Societies are seeking in their pledge annihilation. The population is cheapest, automatic hesitation. Take the problems from the whole, automatic degradation. I'm just a man, what can I do? They change the order. They remember what's a man who believes and walk the water. I made the true vow we hold. We do not know. Spread love, Fibonacci numbers, take the whole globe. Feel the music in your soul. Nobody just move along. Call your folks. For a little something strong. Love us rock. We just shorty let it know that you gotta show the kids who are the book is only strong as it's all together fabric. It's showtime. You know how I did is black magic.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. I never know. Whenever you're using StreamYard, hold on. What's that noise? Whenever you're using StreamYard, you don't know if the people going to hear your voice or not. Right? This is. I stopped using them for a while. I would not recommend them. Right? I use OBS. But this morning, I wanted to extend the conversation to the Instagram family, right? Because this is a broader topic. This is a topic that deserves inclusion. Now, what I found out about censorship being on YouTube for quite some time, just being on social media for quite some time, because it's not only YouTube, to be fair. There is a bias, right? And we know this because Mark Zuckerberg had to go before the Senate and explain, was there a negative algorithm? They called it a negative algorithm, which basically means an algorithm that would get more attention based off of what we call negative content, right? And he admitted it. He wasn't about to go to jail for it. He admitted it. That he noticed, along with his peers, that people would stay on. Good morning, Splashing. They would stay on the videos longer if the videos appeared to be more negative. So they use this to their advantage. I mean, I think we all would consider it at least, right? And then we would all have our version of how far we would go with what we deem as negative down here. So the things that I say, it's not that I'm just pulling this out of a hat. No, I'm giving you what you probably miss due to negative content. You understand? They overflood it now. So there's a bunch of things you might have missed, but that's where my eyes are trained, where my ears are trained to kind of really look. And then I do this balance and dance where I try to give it to you what you missed. Because if you missed it the first time, obviously you wasn't interested, right? You might not have been interested. There were things that you prioritized a little bit more entertaining than Wax Dog. What's good, bro? Shout out to Wax Dog. A little bit more than entertaining than a story like this. So it is my job to come back, be the bridge, and be like, yo, we forgot about this. But I have to give it to you a certain way. It's the same way your parents gave you the vegetables. You understand? I got to do the whole airplane thing with you. Hey, who's a good boy? Right? I got to do that with you. Right? Look at this. And then you finally pay attention. You have to mix it up because this is the tactics they're using. They're using negative tactics. So, you can't fight fire with fire. You got to fight fire with water. Somebody said, who said fight fire with fire? That's crazy. How are you going to win? You got to fight fire with water. Nonetheless, um, there's a radio pro station. There was a radio station when radio existed, right? I used to listen to AM. There was a couple of stations on AM that an older Caucasian guy used to tell me, "Yo, you got to tap into 1010 wins in 880." Right? He used to tell me this. I worked for him. And he was like, "Yo, you got to tap in." He used to tell me things to get me outside of the things of my norm that I regularly did. And somehow I discovered Pacifica Radio. Somehow, there's a woman on there named Amy Goodman. Democracy Now, right? I don't know how. Don't ask me how I discovered this lady. And Democracy Now on. I don't even know what channel it was on AM. But then I started listening to her all the time, right? And they used to always ask for donations and stuff because that's how they stayed alive. You know what I'm saying? They always ask for donations. Yeah, Amy Goodman. And so I started following and she educated me on so many. Yo, let me tell you something. Whatever they was pushing on Hot 97, that's cool. That's R&B, hip hop. That's what they do, right? But I felt like we're a little bit more like hip hop can include so many things. You don't have to only include the negative things. But like I told you before, the negative gets the attention, right? And then the definition of things start to change. You know, yo, hip hop always started in the streets, and it's like, okay, that's kind of true, but it's not true at the same time. The way you're saying it is not exactly true, right? And we all know I can go down, like I've become sort of a history buff when it comes to hip hop and going down that, like I love it, but that's not what today's topic is about. So please don't even get me started on what the hell is going on right now, this fiasco. Uh but I learned so much and I felt like, yo, why can't we have our like articulate hip hop people? Like, why is it never a balance, right? You either go get somebody that's like not even close. There needs to be a balance of inclusion for articulate, intelligent people in hip hop. Everyone in hip hop is not intelligent. Let's keep it 1,000. Let's not even sit here and act like everybody is even repping intelligence. Let's keep it 1,000. There's way more people that's repping aggression, violence, low emotional intelligence, low mental intelligence, high pride and ego. Right? But we already know why this happened. If we don't control our own music and other people control it, right? Then it's like leading kids to some type of factory or some type of dungeon just by playing the flute, right? It's the Pied Piper. Just see what all they have to do is pay attention to what we're into. Oh, they like rhythm. Okay, let's manipulate the rhythm. Let's manipulate the words, right? They love the chance to make money and get, all of this hundreds of thousands. They believe all of that. They believe all of it. Let's use that to our advantage to trick them and trick them young. I mean, it's the art of war. What are we mad at? That that they're successful at it? Is that what we're mad at? What are we mad at? You mad at them? Oh, they're racist. I don't know if they're racist, whether more than they just took advantage of a weak people. I don't know about racist. I mean, this is war. This is Sparta. Anyway, I found Amy Goodman. The Democracy Now, well, not only Democracy Now, but many platforms took like they didn't know what to do as we were transitioning from a analog age to a digital internet age, right? We went from reel to reel. Remember the reel? I don't know if you guys remember the reel to reel. I was in the studios at that time working with reel to reel. Not that I really took advantage of it because I was young and arrogant and an idiot, but I was an assistant engineer. MC Hammer's brother made me, Louis Burrell. He made me an assistant engineer. I didn't know how to do it. That's why he made me an assistant. But like if you could go back, you would go back and do it different, right? But that's not. When I say I didn't take a full advantage of it, I worked at the post office during the day, and then at night I was supposed to meet them at the studio, which I did, and I was supposed to sit there. He gave me clear instructions on what to do, and it's not like I listen, but I get tired early. Always got tired early, so therefore, when you're working in the music industry, just because the session starts at 8 does not mean the session starts at 8. I'm just letting you know right now, right? Session could be booked for 8. That joint may not start till 1 in the morning. These are the facts. You understand? And then you go into 6 in the morning. It was hard to stay awake. Let's just say that, right? So I heard a lot, wake up, yelling at me, wake up, right? It was just, whew. Talk about burning the candle at both ends. It was rough. Shout out to Trisha in the building. Anyway, what I was saying was a lot of people found it difficult to make the transition. So when radio died, I haven't listened to the radio. I would only listen to the radio for 2 people, Amy Goodman and Funkmaster Flex. That's it. That's all the radio was good to me for. Amy Goodman and Funkmaster Flex. And I know you're like, yo, those two don't have nothing to do with each other. They don't. That's all Funk, when he's not doing 1,000 bombs, Funkmaster Flex, I love his show, right? He doesn't have to play music sometimes. Sometimes he was just talking, right? And I love how he started slow, and then it would ramp up, and then like it was a crescendo. And a lot of people didn't appreciate that because they didn't appreciate radio. You know what I'm saying? They just they don't just the same way a lot of people don't appreciate hip hop. They don't appreciate hip hop. They're out here calling one genre of music hip hop, one element. Yo, they stole our music. They stole our music. They stole our music. I'm like, bro, do you even know what hip hop is? And when I found out these people don't even know what hip hop is, then it's like, I don't want to argue with you. You don't even understand what hip hop is, bro. You don't appreciate it. And you got the nerve to call other Khazarians and Caucasus people culture vultures. You have the nerve. Some of these same people that you call culture vultures were invested in this hip hop culture way before you could blink, stupid. You were swimming in your father's nutsack. And you came out and you still have no respect. Some of you yelling you was there. Yeah, you was there. Living there. You had nothing to do with hip hop. I could tell. You don't know nothing about it. You know nothing about hip hop, bro. I'm asking you about how it was really created. The forces, the elements. You should know the elements surrounding before we get to music. You should have known what to tell me before we get to music. You got to appreciate all the gangs. If you appreciate, tell me the gangs that was there. Tell me the politicians. Tell me about the economic climate. You can't because you don't really, be quiet. Stop talking to me. Got a lot of people in the house. Frankie Blanco was good, bro. JB Official was here. JB Official was there. You understand? These people they could correspond with me. If I throw something out, they throw something back. Those elements is what created 1 + 1 is 3. You understand what I'm telling you? There's a cause and effect in a result. Cause, effect, result. Hip-hop was the result of several different things that were going on at one time. It was beautiful. It's beautiful. It's like the flower of life. That many things could create such, like, whoa, such an element, like, oh, snap. But you guys have to learn to appreciate the story. And it hasn't even been 100 years, and you already have infiltrators that come in, grave robbers, if you will, come in and try to rewrite the history. I've seen this tactic done by the oppressive Caucasian man. I've seen him do this. But this is a new age that I'm starting to see people swindled into taking a story and running off with it loud with a megaphone. They running off with these stories, and they themselves do not have the proper education. They themselves listen to one speaker. You can't listen to one speaker. Imagine just listening to Tariq Bey and then not comparing his notes with other education or knowledge because it comes from the white man. This is ridiculous talk. How about take what he's saying, take what the white man is saying, take what the black man is saying, take what the Spanish man, take what they all say, and then find out where the anomalies are in place. But if I only listen to my religious leader, and then you have the nerve to talk about another religious person that is not from your same religion that does that, then you're a hypocrite. You are a hypocrite. And many people do this. They only listen to the people that's in their bubble, in their circle. You guys are walking around gassing each other up. Be brave. Dare to be wrong. Dare to be wrong. Get the new information. Break down everything you know already. Build it back up. See if it builds up the same. If it don't build up the same, then evidence is right there. Anyway, I keep trying to finish this one thought with Amy Goodman, right? Because I know I'm going off on a rant right now. Again, I'm warning you right now, right? But she's the one who told me about Allen Dulles, right? She was the one who put me on to the book. What was the book about Allen? The Devil's Chessboard. She put me onto so much stuff before the internet, bro. So while people was, people love to say, this is not me saying this, right? But people like, yo, you smart. And I'm like, yo, I don't know about that, right? I know the people, some smart people, right? I know of some smart people. But the reason these people were saying this is because I was talking about things that they were not familiar with, right? They probably should have been tapped into a little bit. They wasn't so drugged up and hyped up off of what the mainstream media wanted us to know, including mainstream radio, right? Mainstream video production. If you keep feeding us the same stuff over and over and over again, it's like, okay, I mean, I ventured outside of that. And other people had a part to play in that. Like the gentleman I mentioned to you, the Caucasian man I used to work for. He's like, yo, you gotta listen to 1010 Wins. You gotta listen to 880. You gotta know what's going on in the city. And I took his advice. Then he started, you gotta get outside. You gotta go hang out downtown sometime. Never mind Mount Vernon. Come downtown, hang out downtown. I took his advice. You see new things. We all see the world through our own lens. Through our own lens. Your lens meaning your experiences. You understand? Your empirical knowledge. Dare to venture outside of that. Don't be afraid. The one thing that always pissed me off is the follower dude. The follower dude. And I seen these dudes all the way to 50, sometimes 60 years old. He's trying to be down. Oh, he got on my nerves. Oh, he got on my nerves. For so many reasons. Some of my reasons were shallow, right? Because I know what I was doing outside in the streets. I was outside ripping it up, right? And I would put on this Kaiser Solzak routine. The next day I come outside. I don't want to be seen. I don't want the world to know what I do. Right? That wasn't my thing. If we're gonna get busy, let's get busy out here. I'm not doing this for I'm not trying to go to jail. Right? But then you do want in the underworld, you do want to. There might be opportunities. Let's put it like that. When you're in the underworld, there might be opportunities if that guy, there's certain people know about you, know about your work. So you got to get their attention, this, that, and the third. And it's a slippery slope. But I didn't want the attention of ordinary civilians that had nothing to do with nothing. You don't know. You're not in this world. You understand? You can't offer me any type of bricks on consignment, and you can't put money in my pocket like that. You can't tell me where there's a lick for 100 grand and somebody said, you don't know. Right? So, and they're not going to let you know. So what you knowing these things about me is going to benefit me? Nothing. They're not going to benefit you. You're not even thinking on the same wavelength as me at this time. So I didn't care about none of that. You don't need to know that. And then I was really kind of amazed at how fast the word do travel. I wrote about all of this stuff in my raps. So the raps I wrote wasn't like fake raps. Like I didn't know how to write fake raps. I just was writing poetry that I felt, right? So it's not that it had to do with me all the time, but if I wrote something that it didn't have to do with me, then I'm just writing kind of like Donald Goins. I'm just telling you what happens truly in my environment. But I'm not going to start taking advantage of that and just coming outside selling death and then saying, no, I'm just talking about what's happening in my environment, yo. Nah. No, you're not. No, you're not. You listening to what these Khazarians said they wanted. Because they telling you what sells. That's what you're doing. Keep it real. And then you come with this cookie cut answer. I just talk about what's happening in my environment. That's it. Shut up. You're selling death, bro. You're trying to make it seem cool to live this street life. And all I could tell you is it wasn't always. It was. Of course, there's nights you celebrate. You guys are at the restaurant. You're popping bottles like mobsters. You understand? You're going on shopping sprees. Niggas is spending 10, 20,000 at the shopping joint. Yeah, that you have those times, but that's not the whole story. That would be crazy if that was the whole story. It's not the whole story, bud. What? Man, I don't talk about it much. You understand? I just stop at a point. It is with you. There's 1,000 stories out here with people telling their street stories. I think at this time in 2024, evidently we could see that. Whew, hindsight, right? Hindsight. Anyway, let me really get to this story now. Amy Goodman, she's on YouTube, right? It's called Democracy Now! So, as I've learned from this woman in the past, I learned from her now. And listening to her, and I'm telling you about her because if you want to get outside of your circle, outside of what you generally listening to, if your timeline is flooded with nonsense all the time, you're like, damn. And then you're like, yo, where's Jamil Saladin? And you're reaching for other people that could really, where you have a thirst for knowledge, then you definitely want to tap in with Democracy Now! YouTube channel. Democracy Now! YouTube channel. And it's going to give a fair balance, right? They give a fair balance. You can't have all DJ Academics news. Poetic Flacco. I get news from them, obviously. When I want to find out what's happening in hip hop, not so much hip hop, but rap and entertainment, and I don't even know if I could call that hip hop. What's going on? It's just be ratchet stuff. A lot of it is ratchet nonsense, but I stay abreast of the ratchet nonsense. But then I give a balance. Sometimes I go on a fast. I don't want to hear nothing. Let me hear from the Most High. I don't want to hear from you guys. I don't want to hear nothing. Let me just silence. This is important. And then you got, other people that you listen to that give news. Not that many people give news. Anyway, Supreme Court strikes down Chevron curtailing power of federal agencies. I dropped a link. On YouTube, you can act out a fake robbery and then get goofies to say it was real. Yo, JB Official. I'm JB Official. I really try not to, bro. When I say I'm done with the dirty section, they disappointed me because they don't have any ambitions to go do more, right? Together, right? They don't want to work together. Bullis Gotti has a new show. Shout out to him. And I told him, don't look back. Don't look back. Right? Just keep going, Bullets. Just keep going. Take the Sub-Zero interview and don't look back. Get the next one, right? And then don't just keep going. You have the potential. A lot of them do. But a lot of them don't have the faith in themselves. So what they do is make a mockery out of themselves. So where I see this guy, he's doing fake robberies now, and it's like, bro, do you understand? Literally, it would have been easier to team up with me and everybody else, and we could have took this off. You wouldn't have been out here doing this. But you're sitting at home thinking of ways of how to keep the people tapped in, right? Because you're drunk off this BS celebrity status that you have. This is the problem. YouTube and the social media make you feel like you're somebody. Peace, unknown one. They'll make you feel like you're somebody if your name was never known. Then what happens if your name is known by thousands of people and then you feel like, yo, I gotta keep it, I gotta keep this up. I gotta keep this up. Never build a ladder that you can't climb. Never build a ladder that you can't climb. So now you out here doing fake robberies. And I could see what you should have did was it should have been turned into a skit right away. Right away, you should have turned that into a skit. Right? And then you would have been that it would have been like comedy a little bit, but you thought no one was going to be able to tell that it was fake. So to pass it off That's why I did not respond to the stuff that I heard he was saying about me. I wasn't responding because the truth will hit the light one day. The people going to know. Why would I need? And that's what they want you to do, right? They want you to respond to get it caught up in their nonsense. No, I'm done with you guys. I'm done. You don't want to progress to higher levels. You want to stay in the scum of YouTube. You don't believe in yourselves. You'll do anything. You curse your mama. You dish your father. If you do that, you think I'm surprised that you're going to try to play me out one day? No. I wasn't surprised. Wasn't surprised at all. Right? I heard, I don't listen to too much, right? People call me with things. I don't watch at all. So I don't never know when they do a video about me. People hit me up, yo, this is what. But I heard he said something to the effect that the whole behind the bar thing was fake. That me behind the bar and 10 Toes set that up. And I'm like, I'm not responding to that. I'm not responding. This is crazy. This is crazy. Only so that they want to drag you into their nothingness because they have nothing going on. Instead of going to get something, building something, they would drag you into their nothingness. And then you get caught up in that web of disease. Nah, I'm good. Thank you, but no thank you. This is not news. It's just gossip. Maybe behind the bar wants to respond and tell you if it was fake and set up by Saladin and 10 Toes Down. Maybe he does. I have no interest in that. I have bigger endeavors. Please, I believe in myself. And Rome wasn't built overnight, right? So, knowledge yourself, find your purpose, enjoy the journey getting there. Now, I dropped a link and I pinned it to the top. If anybody wants to talk about what we're about to get into right now, right? And this morning, shout out to the Instagram family. I can't really see what they got going on over there. It doesn't really show me who's in the house or whatever the case may be. I just invited them. All right. So let's get into what this whole story is about. In case you're not, what does it mean that the Chevron doctrine is overturned? Well, in 1984, let's start there. Chevron, the oil company, challenged the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, for an interpretation of the Clean Air Act, right? Of course they would. Of course they would act. Everyone's a capitalist, right? And they're trying to get over and do things that are taboo to get what they want faster, right? So if they got to break a few laws that are kind of unsafe for the earth, and then there's supposed to be an agency. Now here, let's take our time with that, right? Because I want to unpack some things today, because my question is this overturn a win for American people, or is it a loss for American people? Let me send you guys the link again, right? Even though it's up there, it's pinned in. Good. Now, as these oil companies, Chevron wasn't the only one. You've been having oil spills by these oil companies that's drilling in the ocean, right? And then things break, all of a sudden there's millions of gallons of oil just leaking into the ocean that more than likely would not have happened if you did not start drilling down in there. Now all these millions of gallons a day are coming up, right? You don't know how to stop. You're like, oh, it's just being quiet, because honestly, nobody could do anything back then. You just got to let it rock, right? Until they would figure out solutions weeks later. By then, tens of millions of gallons of oil are actually pumped into the ocean. The problem with that is, as the sunlight hits this water and this water evaporates, now it is evaporating with oil going up, and that's not good, right? Because it has to come back down as rain, right? So we don't really know how this is affecting our environment, but we kind of thinking, this can't be good. So Chevron challenging the EPA to an interpretation of, at that time, the Clean Air Act. But altogether, the whole point is you have a company that's challenging the interpretation of a law, right? And what the federal government did, what the Supreme Court did, is they said, listen, Supreme Court said, listen, we got agencies that will tell you of different departments that we're going to delegate them to give a clear interpretation of the law, if it is good for this land, right? If it is good for the land. So these guys could come up with laws, and they were trusted. They were trusted to create regulation. Let's put it like that. These departments were trusted to give out regulation, how we should abide. Were all these agencies trustworthy? Well, apparently not. Apparently not. If the Food and Drug Administration allowed, what's this guy's name? I keep forgetting his name. Is it Eric Wright? I mean, I could look it up, but I do believe it's Eric Wright, that he was part of the FDA, and he turned down Curtis Wright. Eric Wright is easy. Curtis Wright. So Curtis Wright was the one who, and shout out to Easy, rest in peace. Curtis Wright was the one who was appointed, I think, director of the FDA, and he had turned down the Purdue family advances for OxyContin several times. He's like, nah, it's too addictive. It's too addictive. It's not safe. But eventually, he succumbed to the money. They lobbied him. This happens all the time. They send a limousine to your house. You understand? You wake up, you got a brand new G-Wagon in your driveway. Tickets to a game. You staying at a suite you would never stay in your life. You understand? You're staying in crazy suites. $2,000 a night suites. $4,000 a night. So you've never had this type of attention before. And then the capstone is say, yo, we would like to offer you a job making triple your salary what you make right now. What you doing? What you making? 100? Yeah, we want to offer you $480 a year. What? are you talking about? $480 a year? God knows whatever your taboos are, right? Whatever your demons are, they're going to find them and they're going to put it in front of your face. Boys, girls, right? Whatever it is, they're going to put it in front of your face. And somehow, after saying no to the Purdue family for so long, he ended up saying, yes, Oxycontin is good. Oxycontin is safe. Only for it to come out and be pushed on. Now, here's another one. Now that it's deemed safe by the FDA and regular and legal to use, now these same people go out and spend more money. I guarantee you this video don't get no views, right? Once you start talking, I've been through this 1,000 times. Once you start talking about big pharma, who can else I can't talk about Biden administration up here. All those videos get low views, right? Especially anything that's explaining the activities of big pharma. I don't get no views. Right? And that's the difference right there. Me knowing I'm not going to get views, but I'm giving out the knowledge for the people versus somebody that's staging fake robberies so that he can get views, right? So they not like us is evident, right? That's just clear and evident. Like they not like us. So you got all these departments that's supposed to be looking out for the people, but they're not really looking out for the people. Let's see which agencies fall under All right, here are some of the agencies that would fall under federal agencies that would be affected by the turnover of the Chevron document, right? Because the Chevron document, before it allowed the agencies to determine regulation and the laws and the interpretation of those laws. Now, the overturnature, if that's a word, of this doctrine takes away the local agencies or the federal agencies' power, right? It's taken away a lot of their power and it's given it to the Supreme Court. I want to discuss with anyone, is this a win? Is this a loss? I'm going to tell you how I feel. But first, let me tell you some of these agencies that are affected by this. Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA. Food and Drug Administration, FDA. Federal Communications Commission, FCC. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC. Oh my God. This could be good. This could be incredibly good or extremely bad. It's going to be either one. I'm telling you right now. IRS. Jesus. Department of Health and Human Services. This is going to be incredibly good or incredibly bad. I'm telling you. Department of Labor. Department of Homeland Security. Jeez. Department of Transportation. Incredibly good. Incredibly bad. Department of Energy. Federal Trade Commission. Whoa. Department of Education. Social Security Administration, Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA. That's what they know in the hood. You understand that? Out of all of those, the Black Hood dude, he's happy to know about OSHA the most. You understand? He can't wait to tell you, no. You know what I'm saying? I need my OSHA hours. I need my OSHA hours. You know what I'm saying? I need my OSHA hours. You know, that agency over there, they're going to hook me up with the OSHA. They're going to hook me up with the OSHA. This nigga don't want to work. I guarantee you. I guarantee you, I know this guy. He doesn't want to work. He just wants to tell you that he knows about OSHA. And if he gets hours, he got the OSHA card. He doesn't want to use his OSHA card, man. Facts. So outside of OSHA, right? I got my OSHA card. Outside of OSHA, because that's the least of my. Out of all of those up there, let me tell you something. I just named 14. Out of all of those I just named, OSHA was the least of my worries. Now, you got Jesus Christ. All of these agencies. Is this good that the that the Supreme Court, it could be good. This could be excellent if the Supreme Court is like, yo, we can handle this from now on, right? And I'm saying it's good because obviously we cannot trust rogue directors of agencies, even though these directors allegedly have to answer to a congressional committee, a Senate committee. It never goes anywhere, right? These people, they commit horrendous acts, and then they sit before the committee, they lie, like Dr. Fauci. He's a liar, like a bold. I've never seen that type of dedication to a lie. He's in character, right? So he can be a psychopath for all I know. Obviously, he's a psychopath. Obviously, this guy is a psychopath. But he's been there for 30 years or more, right? But a minimum 30 years he's been in this position. Deciding what is good for the people. What is regulation for the people? Is this good or is this bad? Anybody want to come up? You could drop knowledge. You understand? Anybody want to come up? You want to drop knowledge? Drop. Now's your time. Get involved in a conversation that involves us all. Yo, 30 years is crazy, right? Me, myself, I'm kind of happy with this decision, but a lot of times I'm way too optimistic, right? So my optimism might be the death of me in this particular case, because I'm hoping that 9 judges, Supreme Court judges, right? But what the judges said is, actually, they said the courts can now determine the interpretations of these laws, and if they are clear or if they're not clear. Which kind of leads us back to where we were. Because if the courts could do that, depending on what court district you're in or court circuit, who's the judge? Can the judge be brought? Remember a few years ago, cash for kids? Who remembers that? Splashing says they're trying to give more power to the states. Okay, so let's have this conversation. What we do know is that the United Nations and the WHO and World Economic Forum just updated their global constitution, right, regarding responses to another pandemic, health overall, right? And this is what I'm saying. These are the type of things that no one is paying attention to. I know this is a boring topic. I don't care. I do not care. I just want to have it up. Like, if I've never had this discussion, that would be crazy. Like, to never do a video about things that really matter and drill into the possibilities of what is going on and how they're trying to attack us. That's crazy to do just a video on the response after you. And then they're going to block your responses. I'm just telling you that now, right? Once it go down, you're not going to be able to get up here and say anything about anything you going through. They will censor your video. They will block it. I thought Jay Bhattacharya was dead. Jay Bhattacharya is alive and kicking. They just censored him. Hold on. A lot of these doctors, the doctors that were standing up for us, they're nowhere around. They censored all of them. They disgraced all of them. They threatened their licenses. Right? They called them quacks, like Dr. Judith Makovich. These are people who spent their whole life understanding their field. And when they opposed a guy who hadn't been in the field in so long, right? Dr. Fauci, he was the head of virology, but it's not like he was out here practicing and sharpening his skills like that through actual work, seeing patients, actively working. That's not what you was doing, Fauci. All the evidence shows what we know, right? But if I say it, then here's the power of them passing laws. If I say what I say, then they're going to say it's disinformation and they take down my video. So then I'm forced to talk in parables like I'm Jesus Christ. They don't share the videos when it's about certain topics because they don't want the people to be educated on this type of thing. Now, I'm not going to be up here long. What we got? We got like 10 minutes more, 15 more minutes maybe. I want us to know that it was overturned. That was my point of doing this video, so that you know that it was overturned and what type of ramifications that can have on you. So Splashing, I believe Splashing is right. They're trying to delegate the power to the states, right? You get enough people in the state that's involved. Let me tell you something. A lot of people fall for tricknology. Look how many people ask for, check out the tricknology of the devil. It was already there. He made you think there wasn't enough for everybody, right? So he was like, yo, we're going to figure out. This is Biden. Yo, we're going to figure out how to get everybody this antidote to everybody. You're going to be good. But right now, we just don't got enough. You believe that, and you know what you turn around and did? What they already knew. They have think tanks that already know what you're going to do. You say, yo, that's not fair. I want mine now. Then you started fighting for it. You started asking for it, right? The same way If you have a peaceful neighborhood, nothing's going on, this, that, and the third, then all of a sudden you can convince somebody to go in there and shoot up a cinema full of kids. You can convince them to shoot up a school full of kids. Then you come by with the sad face. The same person who set it up comes by like, dang, this is crazy, man. This is just, my heart goes out to you. This is the same person that set it up and did it. My heart goes out to you. Man, this is crazy. And you're just waiting for the person to say, yo, what can we do about this? Like, we need these guns off the streets. But listen to me. You so stupid, you're not paying attention that he wants a specific gun off the street. It's not like he's out here asking for handguns off the street. That would make no sense. You not putting it together. He's really only concerned with the automatic and semi-automatic. Semi-automatic because you can take out the pen and turn it to an automatic. That is what he's concerned about. He's not concerned about your handgun. Why? Why are you not concerned about that? You're not concerned about that because really, when it goes down, I don't want as many automatic weapons out here fighting against us. You're going to lose anyway when that United Nations military get in here. But if we could do this without the drama, because what the United Nations would need to do is kill these people. Now, if you don't know that there are a lot of white militias. They're not out here on YouTube with money phones to the air. You understand? They're out here fronting. They just sitting there waiting for this whole thing to go down. And when it go down, then you're going to know. And what's sad is black people, then your monkey Sambo cooning ass is going to want to get down with the white folks. Oh, yeah, you are. Oh, yeah, you are. But you wasn't wise enough to sit here and build with other people to see the weaponry of the shaitan, the weaponry that these mass media corporations was using to brainwash you. Every chance they got, they try to divide the colors, the races of people, right? A white cop shoots a black kid, they're going to pump it. Pump up the jam. Pump it up. Why the jam is pumping. Huh? Wow. Perception is visual perception is a strong frequency. Visual perception is a strong frequency. So if they show that image to you over and over again, then they go off and go get some freak of nature like Tariq Nasheed and promise him, so give him a bag of money. He get out here, throw flames all over the joint. You'll never see these people nowhere. Why is he not talking about this? Right? This is what I'm saying. You got to watch the conversation of people. People conversation be shallow, and then they be standing up like they standing on business. Meanwhile, that whole conversation been shallow for years. It never really got into the depth of anything that mattered. Never. And you treat him like, he be standing on what? As the young boy said, he ain't on shit, bro. He ain't on shit, bro. Slang terms are crazy. I'm utterly amazed at slang terms, right? I love it. I just had to find a way. Okay, you got to speak the language of this land. But damn it, I'm gonna keep talking my slang. They say you ain't on shit. I don't know what that means, but I do know what it means at the same time. You ain't on nothing. You ain't on shit, gang. On their dead. Yo, I love the urban community, man. It has its own language. That's good in the urban communities. Urban communities got everything. It got economics. It got jobs. Yeah, the underworld got everything y'all need if y'all stick together and get your laws back in place and your principles back in place. Right? You got to start handling niggas that's not out here respecting your the code. It got way out of hand in the underworld, right? You started way out of hand. If it's going to be about business in the underworld, it needs to be about business. Protect your environments too. You understand? Protect your environments. Protect the people, the civilians. That's why John Gotti was loved. Also, he refused to sell all that dope and stuff in his own neighborhood. When he says you leave that for the niggas, these people look at you like animals. And you're you know what gets me upset? When I see a young melanated person proud to be visualized as an animal. It's one of the worst things to see. Like, damn, bro, you're not an animal, bro. But you can't run around, call yourself a god, a king, and then you out here moving like an animal and proud to be seen as an animal because you think that is gonna make people fear you. It doesn't. Some of the hardest people that the hip-hop industry has introduced us to, right? Now, I hear Bill Esgotti talking about Casanova is, he's insinuating things now. I was insinuating these things 2 years ago when I was going down this case, right? Had nothing to do with his music, had nothing to do with him, but I wanted the other younger people that was acting like him. I've seen a bunch of people after Casanova came out. Mind you, I was following Casanova before he blew up. When he was just on Instagram sharing his videos, I was following Casanova. And he was the big ape. You understand? When he blew up, when the Khazarians said, yo, pick him out the crowd. You understand? That was to show you guys exemplary. They didn't ever have to tell you what to do. They told you what they was looking for about who they picked out the crowd and made somebody. You understand? So they said, okay, him right there. And to be fair, I do believe that was Memphis Bleek, and Tata had something to do with that right there. Memphis Bleek, right? But where did Memphis Bleek learn what is going to sell or not, right? It's not like Memphis Bleek was out here picking out the nicest backpack rappers. No, he went for the ghettoists. It's not like Casanova is a lyricist. Casanova's not no goddamn lyricist who would be like, oh, this nigga's crazy. He wasn't no Nas that you was like, yo, you gotta hear, son. No, he had momentum. He had the streets. So it's just, if we're getting into it, we're just branding all the criminal elements. We're branding it up and we're selling it to who? People our age or younger people too? Does that include younger people? We're selling it to people our age, which for me, riding around in the car, I don't care, right? Because I know the difference between entertainment and I'm not trying to become Cass, right? So when I hear his music come on, yes, I'm amped in the car, but not amped to go join a gang at 40 something. I ain't about to call my homies up like, yo, can you bring me home? What? problem is you got younger kids out here listening too, and if they see him getting picked out the crowd, they like, yo, they think they got the answer. And I watched it. Just as so many videos after that started coming out, young boys want to be the next Big Ape. So for it not to be promoted, when I was looking for Cass in the system, I couldn't find Cass. Where is Cass? Why it say he was released? When it says an inmate is released and an inmate is not released, that's a problem. And this is what I was telling you guys 2 years ago. I was showing you his status on the internet. I said, say he released. Where is Cass? Is Caswell home? How you be released? Why I say you released and you not released, dog? I know the answer. I explained that answer to everybody already. So I said, damn, I get it. Right? But he also said he wasn't blood no more, right? Right before he went to Jersey. Why? Because he had a taste of life outside of his empirical knowledge, outside of the things that he knew. To my understanding, Caswell was impressed by the streets anyway, because he didn't really have to do none of that stuff, from my understanding. He had a good family, right? Family of professionals. He has professional people in his family, lawyers and all type of, and his immediate family. Sometimes you hear these stories and it's like, oh, okay, this person is from here and they were financially destitute, and you understand it was just a perpetual generational curse of bad decisions. No. Caswell came from a good family. But as young people, we are impressed by other things and the things that we're going to get attention by, right? So obviously he chose to get more into the streets. And it played in his favor because was he successful? He was highly successful. That was the decision he wanted. That's what he wanted. He wanted to become who he became. And then he realized, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. When do I cut it off? What did I sign up for? When is the end date for this? I don't like, okay, it was cool to become the Big Ape until, well, here's the thing, bro. This is why the world knows you. For being the Big Ape. And you just got here. Do you want to not be the Big Ape? No, you like, I don't even know if you got an album out, Lord. You just got here. You don't want to be the Big Ape no more? Why? Because you live in a mansion now? Right? They got you at Hampton parties. You dressed in all white. You dressed in all white. It's different now? It's hitting different? Are you enjoying spending time with your kids now, bro? You're not worried about where the money coming from, huh? So you can spend time with them. You could take them to the go-kart, the go-kart track and wild out and have fun and do beautiful things and go on vacation. Oh, you did. So you don't want to be the Big Ape no more. Well, he did denounce blood. We know this. And all I wanted the people to know is, see, I don't like selling death to younger kids or impressionable people, right? Because they get out here and it's crazy. Keep reselling this bullshit. It's crazy. Casanat dissed the shit out of black folks. Right? Dissed the shit out of y'all. You don't got no culture anyway. That's what he said. Now, I know your culture, FBA, right? But you don't speak on those things. I don't hear one person. You know who speak on it? Me, nigga. That's the only person I hear talking about some of the elements of the foundational Black American culture. Some of them. Let me name some of these things to you. I name them all the time, but I name the vital ones, right? One of the things let's talk about the art of mating. The foundational Black Americans had an art for mating at one point in particular time. No, I know Consonant is not FBA. He's Haitian. But that's my point, Splashing. Sometimes you gotta bring some shit to your opponent's attention. So he dissed the shit out of them. The FBA is young. Here's the thing, Splash. People are uninformed about hip hop and they uninformed about FBA groups. Right? I heard somebody tell somebody the other day oh, you dissing the FBA is like you dissing all Black Americans. Everybody Black. You shut the fuck up. You don't even know what you're talking about. FBA just got here 14 years ago. This is a group that was created, right? For righteous causes. Now they done lost their way. Why you say they lost their way? What they fighting for? When they fight? What type of fights are they putting? Like, I don't see them. They ain't standing on shit, bro. They ain't on shit, bro. FBA ain't on shit. They just waiting out here waiting for the leader who started the group, Tariq Nasheed, to lead the fight. This nigga done took the money. He's over here in some hip-hop conversations. That's your leader. Fuck off, FBA. Y'all ain't on shit. Y'all ain't on shit. That's a fact. Y'all got no type of partnerships. Don't none of the banks mention, and this is what we're going to do for the FBA. Because why? Because y'all ain't on shit. Y'all fuck boys. These are the facts. Y'all let these people get out here and put anything over the airwaves. I don't never see y'all out there protesting in front of the FCC saying, we won't have you teaching our young people this no more. Y'all ain't on shit, man. Shut up. Your little girls is out here twerking. Your little girls is out here twerking at 7 and 5 in FBA community. Fuck off. Go drown. Who the fuck needs you? A war's coming. No man is safe from. All right? And the white community is ready, armed to the teeth, nigga. Armed to the teeth. Why you think they out here trying to get rid of the semi-automatic weapons? They're not worried about you derelicts. You're buffoons. You're fucking goofs-offs. That's what you are. You came out here for a bullshit conversation about hip-hop. And you won't even galvanize to stop the poisoning of their minds. Because you waiting for Tariq Nasheed. Because you trusted him because he did a documentary about Hidden Colors. So you trust it. You trust so easy. You trust anybody. Anybody. You didn't even do your fucking history. Nothing. This nigga thought he was a pimp before he started doing documentaries about Black people. He thought he was a pimp from Los Angeles. You let a pimp get in your head? You some hoe ass niggas, FBA. Go fuck off. Go drown. Because you ain't standing on shit. You 14 years old. You ain't standing on nothing. Yeah. Yeah. Thought he was a pimp, JB official. Let me give out my fucking. Give me a second. today I got the for whatever reason, give me 1 second. For whatever reason, StreamYard. Okay. Hey. Yeah. Welcome JB Fisher to the Poker Face Society, goddammit. FBA, Foundational Black Americans, once taught their young how to mate. They once taught their young how to mate. They once did this. And this was to sustain foundational Black existence. God damn it, this is what the rest of the world still do, except you. Why? Because they done got into your music, got into your videos, told your woman to get out here dressed half naked, get out here and twerk her little hiney. You understand? If her little hiney is not big enough, they made her feel low self-esteem and told her, go get a butt lift. You're not going to be accepted unless you go. And you say, yo, that's not how God made me. Shout out to Big T TV. I thought about that. I have shirts with that on it, right? I do have shirts with that on it, Big T TV. I do. That's a conversation worth having. You understand? I appreciate Big T TV too, because it's they come over here with ideas all the time that encourage and support me. Thank you. But there is good things that came from the foundational Black American household. I just don't hear this new group. This is a new term, foundational Black American. Obviously, were there Black Americans who were the descendants of slaves in this country? Obviously. But let's talk about your history. Because you're not doing enough to sustain that legacy. Actually, y'all are shitting all over that legacy. Oh, got you. That's because Tariq Nasheed is like 10% that take advantage of the 85%. These are facts. And played on if you have acronyms, okay. That's why you said the PFS, and the promise of money and some hope Black people will come. This is a fact, Big TTV. This is a fact. This is why I do this show, man, so that we can slowly reverse engineer the tactics that's used against us, right? So I don't need 2,000. It's not going to be 2,000. Jesus had like 12 people with him, Lord. Yeah, he had flocks of 5,000 that would pop out whenever he did a concert and all that. You know what I'm saying? Tonight we got Jesus in the D's. Jesus in the D's is crazy. D12. We got Jesus in the D12. Right? He's out here. He's doing his 1-2, stepping across water and all of that. He's pulling all his best stops, huh? He's feeding people with 2 fishes and 5 loaves. I don't need it's amazing how much we don't be on shit, and it's sad at the same time. But as I end the show, because I did say I was going to end it, it's 12 o'clock now. Supreme Court strikes down Chevron curtailing power of federal agencies. If you guys want to go check this out, this story, please go check it out and decide what that means for you. Are they going to use this in a good way? Now, can the judges be brought? That's what it's going to come down to, right? Because that's a lot of agencies that we're talking about that affect the people. When you talk about, I mean, let's just kind of slowly go down each one of these. The EPA, environmental laws and policies, right? But then you got the Food and Drug Administration, which includes pharmaceuticals and medicine. This is dangerous because we know how Dr. Fauci just took advantage of the people just now, right? And we also seen the mandates that will try. Now, if they give that to your state and your state says you have to do something, when I say if they give that to your state, if the World Health Organization in the United Nations, they give the recommendations to your state and your state adopts it, what does this mean for your state? Do you have a bunch of sellout motherfuckers in your state? Who folded? Remember, de Blasio was out here offering you cheeseburger and fries, nigga, to get the nigga ate old cheeseburgers and french fries on TV, offering you this yummy burger to stick a needle in your arm, which they don't know. They wasn't ready. You understand? This is the FDA that's telling you they're supposed to give you the best advice. And here it is. They say a vaccination usually takes 10 years to prepare for. This was allegedly, quote unquote, impromptu. So they did not have 10 years. Allegedly, they did not have 10 years, so they had to adapt. Well, how can you mandate something if you don't really know? Are you willing to take that risk? Well, apparently so, right? They was willing to take that risk with a lot of people. Then when the adverse effects came out and the information was not transparent to everyone and the numbers, people were getting blocked off the database that showed you the adverse effects. They was being blocked. Hospitals were being lobbied not to give the information to the adverse effects database. VAERS. The VAERS database. There was no structure to which medical professionals had to give the information, and then there was no rhyme and reason if that data was going to be seen, right? So when we did get the information, it made it look like, oh, not a lot of people are being affected. Yeah, there was way more people being affected by that. Way more people. It's crazy. When you spoke out about it, they charged you with not being smart enough or not having a credentials to speak on these things, so no one should listen to you because you are just a regular person and you are spreading misinformation or disinformation. Well, what does it take to have credentials? I mean, God damn, how many years did a guy go to school? I did 6 years in elementary, 2 years in middle school, 4 years in high school, 2 years in college. No, I did 4 years in college. And then I did 2 years postgraduate. I mean, what the fuck I need, blood? To be able to read and research and then tell people what I found. Peace to the gods, original man in the building. So is this a good thing that the power is being taken away from the FDA and be given to the Supreme Court? Or can the Supreme, let's just say the courts, can the courts screw us? Is this going to be good or bad? Federal Communications Commission regulates interstate and international communications. Is this good or is this bad? Now, this is what I will say about the FCC and FBA. FBA, you have not challenged the FCC at all. You have never asked them to stop promoting unhealthy lifestyles through the lyrics. How is it that the Jews won't allow you to even utter the word Hebrew on Hot 97, and you allowed death and murder all through the rhymes with not even a challenge? And then you would get up here and say who started hip hop. I'm going to need y'all to go fuck off and drown, FBA community. You sound crazy. You sound nuts. Securities and Exchange Commission enforces the law of security markets and investor protection. This is what we're not talking about, because everybody's not a fuckboy out here. Some people are actually taking their money. There are actually young black people, older black people that are intelligent, that don't want nothing to do with no type of ignorant shit. They want to raise their family. You understand? They want to keep their credit clean. They want to save money. Yeah, don't get thrown off by the fact that they got a little baseball cap and they drive a Cadillac. They don't want nothing to do with your stupid nonsense, right? They invest money. Now, this doesn't only affect black people, though. This affects everybody. With the dollar being broken, right? And at some point in the next, where we at, 2024, in the next 6 years, that dollar has to go. In the next 6 years, that dollar, and really before that, we can't wait till 6 years. So I'm going to say in the next 4 years, that dollar has to be broken, and we have to move on to the digital coin. We just have to, because the process already started. That's where we're at. Doing that, because I already debunked the whole decentralization of money. I already debunked that, right? You would have to understand the mechanics of how the blockchain works, and then the blockchain utilization on other monetary platforms to really understand what you're even talking about when you say, no, it's monetized, it's decentralized. Ain't a goddamn thing decentralized. These so-called people have been running the economy for thousands of years, and you would think they would give it up just because you heard a story about a guy named Satoshi Nakamoto, and that the whole thing is going to be decentralized and it's for the people. And you brought that story. You want me to believe Omar was a stoolie because Sosa said so? You believe that Sosa was a stoolie. And I believe so. First of all, sidebar, Omar looked like a goddamn stoolie. That's number one. See this nigga Omar? This nigga had the George Jefferson. You know what I'm saying? Fucking Colombians with George Jefferson haircuts is definitely snitches, Lord. That's a fact. That's not even debatable. Don't debate me on that. Unsidebar. Decentralized how? You really thought you was in the free? Yo, they thought that we was in the, yo, we got decentralized, huh? Bitcoin. Listen, either you got in and you took advantage of the shit, or you can still take advantage. Get in where you fit in. They told you that Bitcoin couldn't be stolen. Niggas out here stealing Bitcoin left and right. Yeah, okay. You keep on thinking that Omar was a stoolie because Sosa says so. Yeah, all right. Listen, here's some other departments that not only the Securities and Exchange Commission, but the IRS The IRS, they took the, is this a good thing or a bad thing? The IRS, their interpretation of the law is now going to be given to the courts. They said, fuck the IRS. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Health and Human Services. Health and Human Services, which includes Centers for Medicare and Medicaid, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC. The CDC. This is all, the power has been taken from them and it's been given to the local courts. Is this a good thing or is this a bad thing? We don't know yet, right? I'm still trying to figure out. I'm like, I pray to God this is a good thing to keep us protected from individuals who run a department who can be manipulated by Klaus Schwab and his team, Bill Gates and his team. Now you have to manipulate a judge, right? Or judges. Not that they can't be manipulated. They can be manipulated too. Do remember Cash for Kids. Cash for Kids. Spison says there's an internal fight for power right now because the elite see the restructuring happening. This is a fact. This is why you've seen so many billionaires pass away, in my opinion. This is a fact. It had nothing to do if you was rich, if you was poor, if you was on the team with us taking over, then you're with us. If you're not with us. And there's a bunch of millionaires that's not with the people who are trying to make this one world government. And I don't think you had to kill so many people to make this a one world government. I don't think that had to happen. But this is what they chose. They chose violence. They chose this path. So you have rich people on both sides like, I don't know which way to go. Right? And don't look at Democrat and Republican as a determination of who chose what side. That's not the determining factor. Both sides are working together and they're both liars. These are the facts. They're both liars. Neither president is in charge. It doesn't matter who the fuck they say the president is. They're not in charge. These senators have more power than the president. And you don't know none of the senators. You don't know them. You're not in tune with the conversations they having. You don't even have it. You don't even subscribe to the Senate hearings, right? As soon as it come up on your feed, you don't want nothing to do with it. I come over here and have an intelligence conversation about the Senate. People tap in real quick, see if I'm talking about some nigga doing a fake robbery. If I'm not, dipping off. These are the facts. Department of Labor includes agencies like Occupational Safety and Health. That's OSHA, right? Oh, Department of Labor, Wage and Hour Division. We're going to get into some things. First of all, there can't be enough jobs for everybody, right? Not in 2030. They're going to have to do something really fast. And why you say that, Jamel? There's not going to be enough jobs. There will be jobs for qualified people. So I say there's not going to be enough jobs because people are not going to be qualified for a lot of the jobs. And the jobs that they're qualified for will be taken over by robots. Yeah, they're going to be taken over by robots and automation. 2030, right? So it's not that you're lazy and you wouldn't have gotten up to go to work for $15, $20 to flip some hamburgers. No, as soon as they made it affordable and said, okay, minimum wage is $20 for you to flip a hamburger, you was more than ready to go to work, as you should be, and I'm proud of you. Problem is, these are games that they play. They're going to do it at a time when they know automation and robots is at the access. They have access to it. So all they're going to do is now is fire you, right? You was dicking off at the warehouse, huh? You was jacking off at the warehouse, making out with some Puerto Rican girl behind behind the shelves and all that. Yeah, they got the whole thing on camera, beloved. They're getting rid of everybody now. Thanks, Elizabeth, for being hot in the pants with the black guy Tyrone. Behind aisle number 9. The whole thing is on camera. Caught you two making out, right? They said we getting rid of everybody. We bringing in robots. God damn it! Tired of Tyrone wasting our money. He come here, he's bullshitting. He's making out with women. He barely stands on the line long enough to do his work. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. I've been in these Amazon joints, man. At one point, they were filled with people. Remember, I drove the truck to Amazon, so I've been in a bunch of them. And the craziest thing, when you see this ginormous warehouse and you walk inside and it's like fucking 3 people inside the whole thing. And you're like, yo, where's the people? There's nobody there, right? You're given instructions on what to do. You do your instructions. There's cameras everywhere. If you really need somebody, you can ring a number, ring a bell or something like that. Other than that, it's like 3 people around, bro. Sidebar. I finally finished listening to the Joe Rogan Experience. It was 4 hours long with Terrence Howard and what's this guy's name? Mathematician. Eric something. Damn, man, I'm disappointed. I don't know this guy's name. He's a PhD in mathematics. He's stupid smart. And it turns out that Terrence Howard is on to something, but he has to get out of his own way. It's understanding beyond my level of intelligence. But I wasn't able to comprehend enough that the PhD was sort of impressed with at least 1% of his work. He said a lot of his work was garbage, but at 1% of his work was not. And that's the piece that Terrence needs to focus on, rather than getting out here jacking off all over the place. Unsidebar. Robots and automation will be taking over many of the jobs, right? Toll booths. There's nobody at toll booths like that no more. They have the express lane, right? If it's not altogether gone. If it's not all, George Washington, gone. Connecticut 95 throughway, gone. Right? Triborough Bridge, gone. It's all robots, baby. We don't need you. Meanwhile, the Pied Piper was out here leading black people to a land of nowhere. To a land of nowhere. Imagine that. Stan Lee, the comic book owner, even tried to jump in and save the black people. He said, I'll try one more time. I tried with the comic book Black Panther, right? Black Panther, the comic, was created in 1964 during the civil rights. Thank you, Top of New York. Thank you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Please subscribe. Black Panther, 1964. Stan Lee jumped in and said, yo, I want to do something. The same way I wasn't about to jump out the window for Puerto Ricans during the hip-hop conversation. All I wanted to hear is one Puerto Rican go in and get their shiv, and I was coming outside with my shiv and say, let's fight together. You understand? If no Puerto Ricans was stood up, you wouldn't have heard my voice. You wouldn't have heard my voice. I said, that's how Puerto Ricans want to go down? Getting kicked out of hip-hop unfairly? It's fucked up. But if you don't stand up for yourself, I'm not going to stand with you. Then I see a Puerto Rican out of the Bronx stand up. I say, okay, what's up, blood? Let's get busy. Just start swinging on that side. I'll start swinging on this side. And we protect hip-hop. I'm not protecting Puerto Rican culture. I'm protecting Puerto Ricans in hip-hop because they was there, and I know they were there. No one could tell me they wasn't, right? Only Tariq Nasheed could come in and write some story about how they was never there. What does he know? 1964, Black Panther, Stan Lee. He's like, yo, I'm not going to fight for black people if they're not going to fight for themselves. But let me give them some inspiration, right? Because I still got to walk through life being a white man. And I still got to do real business. They out here drinking fucking Thunderbird, dicking off, smoking Mary Jane, right? Let me give them some inspiration. That he created a whole character, the Black Panther, right? That is so... that when you really dig into the Black Panther and the elements that involve the Black Panther vibranium, y'all y'all don't really get how genius this character was. He absorbs the energy, the blows. You got to get into the inner meaning. Like, this is so much esoteric, not like meaning in the Black Panther. Why is it called vibranium? Of course he knew, right? But don't think that all Khazars, I've met Khazars, they don't all feel the same way, Splash. You know what I'm saying? But they got the knowledge. They have the knowledge. That's the thing about them, and they gotta stick together. They have the knowledge. They have the knowledge. It's stolen identity. So one thing they got is the knowledge. But everyone is not on board with it using the knowledge the wrong way. All of them are not on board with using the knowledge the wrong way. So you do have some that they don't want to, they just want to live. Shout out to Third Base. I don't think Third Base was culture vultures. I just think they were very impressionable about this thing called hip hop, and they got involved. Shout out to Third Base. I dare say the same thing about Beastie Boys. I dare say the same thing. Malcolm McLaren, on the other hand, Malcolm McLaren, on the other hand, is a totally different story. Totally different story. But I'm amazed at the feats he would go through, the loopholes he would go through to be such a culture vulture. And we fell for it. And to this day, he has one of the hottest hip hop. Malcolm McLaren got one of the hottest joints, man. What? I love the Supreme Team beat. The world's greatest, right? The world's greatest. That's crazy. Splashing is out here. He want war with the pre-Hebrews. That's crazy. Not this morning, Splashing. You understand? You won't get me involved in these shenanigans. You understand? I got to go to New York. Last thing I need is some 300-pound Hebrew Israelite dressed in all silver on a hot summer's day. Silver and rubber. You understand? He's from head to toe. He got a crown made out of towel cloth, and everything else is silver and rubber. I turn around. He want to know. He need answers. You talking crazy on your YouTube? I gotta be like, I was Splashing. He was. That was splashing saying that stuff. Nope, not today, splashing. Nope. I'm good, bro. I'm good. Yo, let's see the other departments. No, see, those is the matzo balls is the Jewish ones. Some of my partners. My partner got mad at me. He took me to a Jewish restaurant. I didn't want. No offense. I'm not familiar with this, bro. He's like, let me order for you. He's ordering me matzo balls with the yo, beloved. Keep it real with you. I would rather do without this meal right now. I don't know what none of that is, right? And I'm cautious. Oh, he was so offended I didn't eat the food. I would have been offended too, but I wasn't about to eat the food. I don't know what this is. When I say let's break bread, I mean I can eat what I want and you eat what you want. I didn't mean you order my food. I know it sounds ignorant, like, yo, just eat the. No. He was so offended that you didn't eat your food. Facts. I didn't eat my food. Facts. My wife said I was ignorant. Oh, well. Oh, well. There's a few more departments down here. Department of Energy regulates energy production and distribution. How will this be? Is this a good thing that it's going to be regulated by the courts now? Department of Education. Damn. So here we have it. This conversation as we end our show, right? Because this show was definitely worth having today. Oh, and we're kind of under. It's not even 2 hours long yet. This show was definitely worth having today because I was able to give you at least 14 agencies, which include Social Security Administration. All the old people, they love to base their vote off of how is it going to affect old people. Naturally, I'm not mad at y'all for that, right? I'm not mad at y'all. This is why they keep voting for Biden, because someone told them the Trump administration is going to take away all of the things that help older people. And they get nervous and they're like, I'm voting for Biden. This man is senile. Huh? As a tree with no roots. He's gone. He's not tapped in to nothing. I promise you. And now the tabloids are finally starting to suggest that he may be affected by Alzheimer's. No, duh. My purpose of doing this show today, it's cute to talk about other little things that don't really affect us, but these things can and will affect us, right? I mean, this show, what I talked about today, the control of the regulation of these 14 federal agencies will affect you, no matter what your race is, no matter what your color is, no matter what your age is. It doesn't matter your gender, huh? You're a guy who likes to get a little crazy on the weekends and dress up in a mini skirt and go into co-ed bathrooms that are not co-ed yet, but you're going to lead the pack. It doesn't matter. All of these agencies are going to affect everybody. Now that they're regulated by a different entity. Now, the question is this going to be a good thing for the people, or is this a setup? Is this a setup to have complete tyranny and control? 1 second. Do we need this many agencies? Right? And how will they affect you as a person, as a people, no matter what race and all of that other jazz is? How will it affect you? Is this really about rich and poor? Do you think it's in the link is still down there? I got 10 minutes left on the show. We got 9 minutes left. If anybody wants to come up and give your 9 minutes, is this about rich or poor? Where is this? What is this about? Where are we headed, man? What does this mean for your kids? They just let transgenders come into first and second grade classes and ask your kids, are they confused? What happens now? You understand? What happens now? Is this allowed? If there's not going to be enough jobs, then now we have to talk about health and human services, no? Who's going to look out for you? You cannot have, let me tell you something. We just talked in this last 8 minutes. Let's just make sense of the conversation. You can't have millions of unemployed people just out here. It's going to affect the economy, right? You have to subsidize their living standards somehow. That's a broken window theory waiting to happen. Just millions of people out of work. I mean, this is going to obviously induce crime, which is going to affect incarceration. So, do you not think the think tanks are thinking about how to basically find a solution for this? Now, does their solution have anything to do with Klaus Schwab saying you will have nothing and enjoy it, right? Well, you will have nothing. Why would you have nothing? Well, damn it, you're not qualified for these particular jobs that we're using in society right now. It comes down to that. You're not qualified for that. We got the robots do all of that now. Huh? They got machines that come cut the grass on the side of the highway. We don't need a crew. It's not going to happen overnight. But they said none of this stuff was going to happen, and 20 years later, it did happen. So it's not going to happen overnight. And you yourself may be on the older side of things where I'm closer to death than life, right? But what about, my point is sustainability. What about the next generation? Do we have to? We have to consider them because we're leaving them down here on earth. So while you're laying comfortable in your coffin, sleeping, you done left unprepared youths down here on the earth that don't know how to provide for themselves, that don't know how to discern when someone is lying to them and when someone is not lying to them. So you failed as a fucking ancestor, you jack off. Yeah, out here jacking off your whole life. Great job. Great job. And you feel good about that? Hip-hop has been hijacked, right? They don't even consider the 5 elements of hip-hop no more. They're just talking about dancing and mute and rapping, right? Well, look who's been the head of hip-hop for all these years. Khazarian Juice, Leo Cohen, and all these, and others, Russian Khazarians, all types. People you don't know the name of. You do not know the name of these people. You know the name of Leo Cohen. He's just the officer sent to be boots on the ground. That's all Leo Cohen is. He's boots on the ground. There's other people. They don't want you to know their name. You understand? You would have to do the knowledge to see which record companies are part of a holding company and then who owns that holding company. That's what you got to do. But you don't do that. You just get out here and you're worried about the microscopic things that don't matter, right? As much. And again, these people take advantage of you because you are deaf, dumb, and blind. It's not. I'm not blaming them for taking advantage of you. That's what you're supposed to do. Take advantage of the dumb. That's proud to be dumb too. Proud, run around proud to be dumb. Okay, you definitely being taken advantage of. You're an asshole. These are the facts. All right. And that's my show for today. That's my show. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I wasn't supposed to do a show for a week, for 1 week. And as I was sitting here reading and listening to things that I felt was necessary, I said, "There's no way." I told my wife, "I gotta do a show talking to the people about this, right? Then what's the use of having a show if I can't talk about real things that affect real people?" I know I troll sometimes. Mm, mm. I'm looking into that, Top of New York. I'm looking into that. I appreciate that. Shout out to Wax Dog. All right. Well, we're gonna end. See if we end with one of my songs. I don't ever know if y'all gonna hear it or not. I came in with these song with a song for me. Let me see which song I want to play. I got like 5 albums up here. Mm-hmm. Oh, let me see something. I like this song, but that's not what I want to listen to right now. Mm. I'm starting to think I don't want to hear a song for myself. And if I don't want to hear a song for myself, that means I want to hear a song from somebody else. Random. So random. Something in you.